Well, good morning, folks. I want to talk about guns. Not just here in America, I'm talking about guns throughout the earth. Okay? How much longer? How much longer until you recognize that that is not the solution? It keeps people from having conversations. It keeps people from getting to know one another. It's not in self-defense because those same guns are going to be used on you. Those same guns you are using are going to be used on you because you're in that environment. Okay? To me, the best way to bring somebody to justice is, with a taser. This is not killing anyone, and then you can figure out why that person did what they did and figure out if they're guilty or not and figure out the punishment. But killing people is not going to do anybody good. It's messy. You have to clean blood, a dead body. That's just yucky. Okay? Who wants that job? When I worked in the medical field outside of the military, I was being demoralized. Yes, there was some kind of a show going on. When I went back to the medical field after having served in the military, been honorably discharged, wanted to continue my education in culinary nutrition. I went through a divorce that took 5 years. When I worked at this particular setting, the nurses would, poke. Some of the nurses, not all of them. And it's like, I'm not playing these games, folks, because I was serious about certain things. And it's like, for example, I have always wrapped my cords a certain way, the way I learned it in the military. As I was in the middle of wrapping a cord, one of the nurses, that particular nurse that always liked to play a joke on me, she would come over and say, well, let me teach you how to do it. And I'm thinking, I'm in the middle of doing it. I'm doing it right. This is the way I learned how to wrap cords in the military and how we wrap cords to keep everything tidy and from kinking up so that it's not a tripping hazard. Nobody needs to train me how to do that. Nobody needs to train me how to clean the refrigerator. Sometimes they would have like little duties. Clean the refrigerator. Okay? I would thaw out the refrigerator and clean it out. And somebody said, well, this is how we do it one time. So whenever it was time to do it, I would do it. And write on the log, it was serviced today. You do that. Okay? But when somebody comes behind you and tries to, to teach you how to do something that it's clear that you already know how to do it and you're doing it, I can't stand that. So here I am in my 20s, okay? I'm 47 years old. I don't need to be treated like this for the rest of my life. Who the hell is in charge of that? Who is doing this? Is it for entertainment purposes? Really? No. It ain't a movie. And it ain't your life or your movie or your funny. Okay? It's not. It's a pain in the ass. Okay? So that's why, I can't work in those kind of situations. I can't. I thought about becoming a police officer in the military. Because I wanted to go back in the military to get the heck out of there before they took Jacob away from me. Because I could see it coming. And these people were trying to get ahead of me. And I'm by myself, okay, dealing with all these wolves. Hungry for money. Mother suckers. So anyway, guns are just stupid, people. How are you supposed to have a dialogue with anyone if people have guns and they're shooting before you even, they don't even know what you want? That's not self-defense. And then somebody has to clean that blood. That's disgusting. What is your fascination with blood? What is it? Why don't y'all clip your toenails or something? You know? I'm serious. We've got to figure out what to do worldwide to pacify the wicked. You know? Look at yourself. Look at your toes. Clip your toes. You know, play cards. Figure something out, folks. We can't do this. That's why there are people like the Chinese who are like, no, these people want somebody to lead them. They want somebody to keep them in their little cells. Because that's how humanity behaves. You know, it's like, y'all kill one another in the gangs. Overseas, the same thing. Men raping women, hitting women, and all kinds of things all over the world. So, do you really want somebody like China to come around and say, look, this is what you want. Believe in me. We've already studied humanity. Well, I'm sorry, but that ain't me. I like my freedom, thank you very much. I like to be the mother of my own child. Thank you very much, my own children. I like cooking healthy food and minding my own business. I don't need everybody and their brother in my house. And I certainly don't need people putting on a funny show out of my misery that they're causing. When I was trained in the military, I was trained well. And I got out with my training. I didn't need to go through everything all over again. But out of necessity, I had to stay on the Gulf Coast. Not my necessity. Whomever's doing this. And I thought, well, I would like to join the service as a reservist, and that way I can retire and, you know, get out of here. And I couldn't. They were like, no, we don't need anybody in the military police. They didn't want somebody like me because I don't like guns. They felt maybe that was conflict of interest. How are we going to have this little girl here with that mentality in being a cop? I've thought about these things. If I ever encountered somebody with a gun, they're probably not mentally stable, okay? Who's not a cop. I'm saying, not that there are cops that are not mentally stable, because there are some, but the vast majority are doing it because they want to protect. And they're not using the guns to pow and kill people just to kill people. The vast majority of cops are not like that. And there are a lot of people with guns out there that are dangerous. But I thought about If I ever encounter somebody, threatening, with a gun, how would I handle that? Okay? And the best thing to do is not to further provoke that person, because that person could hit somebody else that was not intended. So you can't be provoking the person who's not mentally stable, or who's angry, or who's got a gun. You can't be further provoking. This is why cops, a good cop, okay, and usually a seasoned cop, they'll take their time. And then they know when to come in. But they're not going to just randomly, go be the hero, because they're going to mess the whole thing up, and a child can end up killed, or somebody who was not intended. So we don't need to be providing, as nations, we don't need to be providing other nations with guns to defend themselves. If we really want them to defend themselves, then we need to help them as United Nations. We need to help them. But if we're in friendship with NATO, and NATO has all these guns, what are we doing? What are we doing? So the people in this industry, the weapon making industry, from bombs to guns to everything, grenades, all of that, landmines, that's the work of Satan. You are working for Satan. Because if you were to create guns for hunting, for constructing better things, people say, oh no, that can't be done. No, we can't do that. That cannot be done. Really? What do you mean it can't be done? If we see a pattern here, every time we have a tropical storm or a hurricane or something really bad weather, down here in the south, in Florida especially, these houses they're leveled. That's because they weren't built properly. But they go up quickly, and people keep buying them. People keep building, and people keep buying them and living in these areas. So we may as well build right. Okay? So we can certainly invest the materials and the energy and the money that we're investing into making these weapons of mass destruction into building better buildings that are not going to fall down like a box of matches, when a bad weather comes. And that same pattern can be applied in other Southeast Asia and other places. And then try to move people away from the coastal areas as much as possible, like their living situation. You can tell people, look, you have tsunamis here. It's not good to live here, okay? We need y'all let's relocate you up higher, up further away from these tsunamis. Because sooner or later, that's what's going to happen. Because it's going to happen. So, we may as well start building up and out away from these coastal areas. And then y'all can be close enough that you can come down and fish and do your business. But when you hear about a tsunami, or you can kind of, you can see it coming, I'm sure. Sometimes you don't. I'm not comprehending how people can still live in those kind of areas. The whole earth is so dirty. I don't even comprehend how some women really are eager to go out to work out there in the street in some of these countries. I would want to just stay home with my kids, okay, and keep my house as clean as possible. But then these hoodlums come in the women's house and start gunning people down because they hate each other as the husbands. That's just stupid. You know, it takes a lot more courage for you men, okay, whether you're Pakistani or wherever you're from, okay, to sit down on the table as men with cojones, okay, and say, hey, brother, you want a cup of coffee? It's like, not really. It's like something, okay? Water, coffee, wine, but not to get drunk, okay? Sit down and talk it over as men. You know, get to know each other. Get to know each other's names. Y'all don't even know each other's names. No, you don't. You don't even know each other's names. You don't even know each other's, how many children you have probably. Huh? You don't even know how old y'all are among you. You don't even know each other's birthday. Do you even celebrate y'all's birthday? Well, you should. Okay? Celebrate something. Okay? Celebrate God and stop fighting about God. Stop using the excuse about God to kill one another because you have, vent up anger that you don't know how to release. Y'all need art therapy and massage therapy. Yes. If y'all let your women, give them a break, help them with the kids a little bit, we're at home a little bit more to take care of your wives, because she needs a massage. Y'all need a massage. Teach each other how to give a massage, okay? All of y'all, okay? Instead of going out there looking for the enemy. That's how these terrorist groups get started, because y'all don't have anything better to do. Well, I will find you a job, because otherwise the Chinese are going to start coming around and putting everybody in prison, okay? To conductar a todo el mundo. Because that's what they do. Because they're observing the humanity. How the human behavior can be so stupid sometimes. They look around and they're like, so uncivilized. Have you looked at those Chinese people? How they're very calm. And they're just looking at around the earth. And they have the technology to scan everywhere. Every nook and cranny. Okay? So, I like my freedom. I wanted to set my son up for painting and doing whatever he wants with his hands. Okay? It wasn't my fault that somebody else was sitting around the sofa watching anime and ghost shows and drinking to get drunk. But he's a Catholic boy. I didn't raise that boy. No. Some of these boys nowadays are eternally that way. They didn't grow up. Okay? And they won't. There's something about these kids from that are 30-something-year-olds, okay? This generation, a lot of them, they're like into gaming and anime, and their brain stopped growing past the teenage years. Okay, that's why a lot of them don't want to get married. If they get married, they're just still like they're kids. There's nothing wrong with that if you're going to take care of your children. But, it's like, why should I have to be a nurse and somebody else's mama? And then they want me to be a grown man's mama, but I can't be my own son's mama? Oh, hell no. Okay? I don't care who's making these decisions up there, whether it's the CIA or the FBI or China or Pakistan or America. Okay? But we need to talk, okay? Because I ain't afraid of none of you. Why can you talk to these people overseas, these terrorist groups and say, look, y'all, we're here to help. We can observe you from up here, okay? And this is a pattern, okay? And unless we correct it, now don't be invading people's private homes to be correcting me, okay? No. What I learned in the military, and I learned it well. Okay, so don't shoot the messenger. Okay? So if you want to shoot me dead, the Spirit of God never dies. So y'all need to just be prepared that somebody like me will come along. It's like, and then you'll recognize, it's the same Spirit of God that's in you. You just need to activate it. Okay? You're so busy activating bombs and guns and activating all kinds of bio weapons. This is the work of Satan. Look at yourselves. What are you doing with your time here on earth? Who are you serving and why are you doing what you're doing? You're serving your country, you say. No, you're serving your ego. Okay? You're not serving the people of your country. You don't go out there in the streets to talk to the homeless. You don't care that there's trash out in the street. You can care less that these people are killing one another and will continue to kill one another over there in Pakistan or Yemen or wherever it is because of American taxpayers' money used on weapons to just give away and all this nuclear sharing like it ain't candy. It ain't candy. It's not like, here, have some vitamins. Be happy. Be healthy. Oh, I will put it in your food, all right. Put it in. Oh, no, it can't be done. Shut up. Put it in. It can too be done. Who am I, the enemy of the pharmaceuticals? Am I the enemy of the CDC? No. No. I am not an enemy. I'm a friend. And sometimes people don't know that they need it, but they do. They need it. They need a hug. They need love. And you certainly, all of y'all need God. And a spanking. So God is warning us. It is soap or fire. Soap or fire. So clean it up. We've got plenty of soap. Okay? Let us wash our hands off this mess by doing it right. And I'm telling y'all, I am warning you. I am sick and tired of talking to y'all. And I am not just going to be talking to the wall. You are going to hear me in here. Okay? You're going to hear me in there. And then you're going to remember to activate the one in you, Yeshua, okay, does not have Peter Satan to the right. No, it's Jerusalem. Okay, so look around and understand the need of the people, which is love and good food and proper shelter. So we need to be talking to those people over there as the United Nations that we are. We need to be talking to those terrorist groups and say, look, y'all, let's go ahead and sit down. Let's have a cup of coffee. Okay? Let's have some good food. Have a catering event. Okay? And say, look, excuse me, we're peace here, peace, peace, peace. Okay? And have both of those groups, okay, whatever they are, okay, and say, look, y'all, we're not here to be, fighting anyone. Just, sit down. These different terrorist groups sit down, and all they need is some love. You're going to see some tears. Oh, yes! And the tears are going to wipe the sin away because it ain't blood. The blood has already been shed for you, folks. Okay? How much blood do you want to see? You want to see blood? Okay? Why don't you get some implements and go in the toilet and put your feet up there and start clipping your all's toenails, okay? If you want to see blood, do that. Relieve yourself, okay? I don't want to see people killing other people, killing children, killing wives. I've had enough. You have the God-given intelligence. Giving people weapons to defend themselves, to kill one another, you know is just going to create an eternal problem. And I have got an eternal solution for you. And you know it. You wanted me to kill myself. But I can't, because the Spirit of God never dies. It just needs a vessel. And y'all have the Spirit of God in you. It just needs to be activated. Y'all know how to activate. You like to make these very complicated weapons and complex bombs and such. Y'all know how to activate something. Biological weapons, grenades. So, if you know how to activate, let us activate the one in you who is greater than you. Okay? This one is the one who branches out from you. Because we are like a network. Us. We are living. Okay? And we have everything in here. On earth as it is in heaven. Okay? Each one of you has treasure. And each one of you is treasure to God. We need to prove ourselves while we are here, serving time on earth. And I've thought about if somebody had a gun in my vicinity, I would say, en el nombre de Jesús Cristo, in the name of Jesus, put thy gun down, repent. You are a child of God. You have the one in you who is greater. You are precious to God. God wants you to repent today. Put thy gun down. Through the Spirit. That person could just be having some kind of a manic moment. Okay? And they're not thinking clearly. But when you speak to that person through the Spirit, it activates the one in them. It's like it wakes it up. Because y'all are asleep. I would go over there as the United Nations and I would say, you know, to these terrorist groups, they like to go out there in the field, in the hot sun, uncomfortable, and God knows when the last time they took a shower. You know, they smell. They haven't taken a shower. They're tired of fighting something they don't even understand. They just need some love. They need a hug. They don't want to admit it because they're too proud. God knows they need to take a shower and they need some soap. Everybody sit down. Calm thyself. Have some coffee. Have them help with food preparation. Have them help with coffee. Making coffee. Men love their coffee and they know how to make it. Tell them, look, your wives, they need love too. They need coffee too. They need a hug too. They need a massage too. They need you to help with the children too. Spend some time with your children so you can get to know your children and your neighbor's children. See, they're not your enemy. They have the same blood as you. Y'all are neighbors. Y'all are friends. Y'all could be friends if you got to know each other. Y'all don't even know, but you have a common ancestor. Why don't you start talking among you? Communication is the solution. This is why God sends the messengers. And the word of God is breath. The breath is life. The life is the spirit. The spirit is the truth, is the fire, is the light, is the glory. I will highlight it for you. The same thing all over the earth. People are tired. They're hungry. They're exhausted. And they're not making decisions with a sane mind. God is a God of cleanliness and order. We don't need another nation to be saying, you know what, we've made an observation and we've come to the conclusion that this is what you need. Because y'all don't have any self-control. Prove to China that you can take care of your situations. China's not the enemy, but China's not God. We are all parts of the whole body, and we all have God-given gifts and things to offer one another. And we need to be depending on God first and foremost and trusting God. So, we need to stop provoking one another, bullying one another, because this kind of stuff is not wise. A seasoned cop will sit back and try to calm that person down and know when to step in, when nobody is going to be compromised. And y'all need to do the same as nations. We don't need to start provoking and letting our media go on with wild accusations and things that can only provoke retaliation. Okay? We've got water to clean, air to clean. Okay? We've got these concentration camps to get rid of. Because it's expensive to have such facilities. And it's not wise to be using and wasting our money this way. When we've got so much air to clean and water to clean. And we've got to prioritize our earth before we think about, outer space, outer space. Y'all, if you cannot take care of your own earth, how do you expect to go to another planet? Are you going to know how to communicate with those aliens? Yeah. No, I don't think so. Y'all cannot even communicate with one another as neighbors. If you saw an alien today, you would shoot the enemy. We are aliens in the to and from. Our land of our inheritance that we ourselves are wasting our time and our resources. Because men refuse to see it. So if you were to see an alien today, you would shoot the enemy. You would fail to recognize that is a human being. If you saw an alien today, you would shoot the enemy. So if you were to land, okay, if you were to leave this solar system and land in another planet, somewhere else, that you don't even know where you are, okay? Woo! We're gonna land in this planet. We don't know what kind of gas, if we can even breathe this ever. But we're gonna come here because we haven't taken care of our own earth. We've neglected it, and we're gonna come here. If there were any life forms in there, they'd shoot y'all's butts. Okay? They will shoot you because you're the enemy, because they can see clearly that you ain't taking care of your own earth. They would see right through you that you're a bunch of buffoons, fools, wasting your people's money to come and land in their planet to mess it up. Oh, hell no. Oh, gone. There goes all your money that you invested on that vessel to get to and from. Okay? Lend me your scopes. We already know what Uranus looks like. Let us move on. Okay? Lend me your scopes and come back down here to Earth. Literally. Okay? And take a look at the situation and use your math and science and your God-given intelligence and all your art and music and apply your knowledge here on Earth and tell these people, look, folks, y'all need love, because according to psychologists, there's basic needs of life for everybody across the board, whether you're Chinese or Pakistani or from Panama. Okay? Y'all need love. Y'all need shelter. Y'all need good food. And you certainly need clean water. Y'all need clean water first and foremost. Clean water. Okay? You have safe shelter and love and good food and whatever else. Let these people know in their language. Don't we have a lot of members in the United Nations making a lot of money? What are y'all doing when you get together? I've seen some of y'all's get-togethers. Boring. Some of y'all are sleeping, and there's just a few of you. When you have a certain subject to talk about. Just sleeping on the dark. No. Y'all need some more light in there. Y'all need good music and good food, okay? But you don't need to be spending your people's money for gathering when you're not going to be talking to these people. Y'all need to man up and go talk to those people. Don't talk among you already. You already did that. We already know what the problems are. We already know that NATO has guns and that they have this nuclear sharing. And we already know who has the most guns and the most nuclear weapons, and we already know that. We already know that the United States and other countries are giving these people weapons to defend themselves, but really it's just to kill one another. We already know that China has cameras everywhere. America does too, okay? Lend me your scopes. Let us go to these villages where they're having terrorists. Be a man! Be courageous! Set up, some catering. And have y'all's coffee from y'all's regions. And invite these people. I've seen these journalists. half the time, they don't get hurt. More than half the time, they go on over there as a reporter, and they manage to talk to these people with the mask on, and their guns in their hand, and they're like, "We're gonna shoot them if they come close." And it's like, what happened to how did the person interviewing manage to get that spot? How did they even manage to brave up to go over there? Why didn't they shoot the reporter? They're not that dangerous if they're not shooting the reporter. So obviously the reporter was able to get through this person. So we need more people like that. Go over there and say, "Look, so what's happening? Hey, look, we've got some coffee over here. You want some? And we've got some food. Yeah, come on. Y'all need a break, okay? Take a break." Woo! Yes, it can be done, and I know we will. Oh, yes, I do. Woo! Thank God for coffee, and thank God for art and music. And you know, if y'all are gonna call me mentally unstable, I don't care.